Welcome to the Virginia is for Sports podcast with your hosts, Kevin Flippin as Flip, Paul Gilman as PG50P, and Kenny Wingle as K-Dub. Let's play VA.
Welcome to another episode of the Virginia is for Sports podcast. If you are watching right now, thank you for finding us on the YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and even TikTok. And it's at VA is for Sports. So like, listen, subscribe, come check us out. Tonight we have a special guest for you.
Coach Rolando Lamb, thank you so much for joining us. Kenny, Kevin, and I all remember you playing at VCU back in the day. We didn't know you when you played high school basketball in Portsmouth, but you were clearly a great basketball player at the high school level and the college level, and so good at the college level that you got drafted by the Supersonics back in the mid-'80s. And so, Coach, a lot of your life has been about basketball. A lot of your life has been about your faith. You have combined those two things to lead a life of motivational speaking and coaching amongst a lot of other endeavors. First, I want to say welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm excited about being here. Thank you guys for having me. Now, you guys told me we're going to have a good time tonight. So, hey, that's why I'm here, to have a good time.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't know if this is going to start off as a good time or not. Tell me what your relationship is with Calvin Duncan over time.
Oh, man, how much time we got? Goodness. We met in 1981. He, I'm from Portsmouth, Virginia. He was from New Jersey, so he was a Northerner, and he had that kind of swag with him. He considered me a country boy, and but we connected, we clicked right from the beginning, and we've been best friends ever since. You know, we played in the backcourt at VCU all 4 years, and so that's my guy. We have a great relationship.
And you guys are ministers together too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, our junior year, he gave his life to the Lord first. Our junior year, then 5 days later, I gave my life to the Lord, and we haven't looked back since.
That's awesome. All right, I have to do this. The most amazing memory I have of you is that game-winning shot in the NCAA tournament. Can you walk us through that play and that moment, and then the aftermath?
Oh man, listen. That game, that was one of the most incredible games ever in the history of the NCAA tournament. They shot like you can go back and fact check this, but they shot like 70% from the field. We shot like 68% from the field. So it's one of those games where whoever had the ball last was going to win that game. And so we going back and forth. Now, I don't know if you guys remember Reggie Lewis. Reggie Lewis, the young man, played for Boston Celtics. Unfortunately, he passed away. I believe some kind of heart situation. But he was a freshman in that game. That particular game, he was 15 for 17. We was like, who is this kid? I mean, it was phenomenal. So everybody was hitting shots. Finally, 2 seconds left. We had the ball under our basket. JD Barnett. Now y'all know how JD was. He was a madman, right? JD, he didn't know what to do, but called timeout. And he said, "Get the ball to Calvin. Just get the ball to Calvin." And so the play was set up. They double teamed Calvin. Michael Brown was taking the ball out. He panicked. I mean, literally, he panicked and threw it to me. And it was only 2 seconds left. I caught it. I turned. I shot it. We went in. Pandemonium. It was a great moment in VCU history.
And in Coach Rolando Lamb history too, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
All right, Coach, I think this is an easy one. Tell us about Chosen One Academy.
Wow, man, that's it's something that's really special to me because my mother passed away in 2019, and she was very instrumental in me playing basketball. As a matter of fact, she was a Hall of Fame high school basketball player herself at Norcom High School in Portsmouth. And man, she was such a fierce competitor. Her name was Marie, and they nicknamed her Rebound Marie because she was tough, man. I'm serious, she was tough. Yeah. And there were times I wanted to quit the game of basketball. I'm talking about in high school, even in college. She wouldn't let me quit. She said, nope. She said, God is giving you a gift and you got to use it. And so to speed this up, she passed away in 2019. And at that point, doing a post-grad program, a prep school came into my mind, but I didn't start it yet because it's a lot to go into it. During the pandemic, that's when I met my business partners and we started strategizing, talking about it, because a lot of our young men, especially our young Black males, are falling through the cracks. And they may have some ability, but they may be lacking in the grades, in their maturity level. And so by establishing Chosen One Academy is an opportunity, and it's a way to help reach some of our young men to give them a second chance. And the thing we do is we develop the whole person. It's not just basketball, but we're developing these guys spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, wanting to put them in the best possible position to be successful in life. And so we just completed our first year, had a very successful first year. Man, we played teams like Fort Union, Hargrave, IMG out of Florida, Bull City Prep, one of the top prep schools in the country out of Charlotte. And so we learned a lot, but we had a great first year. We have 2, possibly 3 guys who are going to go on to college this year. So we're excited about the upcoming year. We're recruiting now. So if you guys know any players who can play, hey, get them in touch with me.
What age range are we looking at?
We're talking about right when they finish high school. So we're talking about 18, 19, 20. Also, this year we are adding a prep school. Now the prep school are for those young men who are in the 10th through 12th grade. So we're going to have both of them going, the post-grad program and the prep school.
And are you recruiting all over the state, all over the Mid-Atlantic, East Coast?
Listen, all over the world. We recruit all over the world. We had a young man play for us from Australia this past year. So, and we are in talks with some young men now out of the country. So it's worldwide. We just went global. We don't go global.
Hey, Coach, it's only been a year.
I know. Hey, God moved fast.
Yeah.
All right, Kenny, what do you got?
So, Coach, you wore number 20 at VCU, right? So,
yes, sir. Yes,
give
sir.
me some info behind you choosing that number.
You know what? I've always worn that number. It started in high school, and it just, to me at that point, it just was a cool number to get. It just was a cool number, 20, cool number. And I've always stuck with it. I always had it. And so nothing really magical about it. It was just it just was a number I really liked, and I always stuck with it.
Awesome. So another question. Jeremy is your son, correct? Played in the league.
Who is that? Who is Jeremy? No, I'm just joking. Yeah. Yes, sir. He's my son.
Awesome. So I'm a card collector, at basketball cards especially. Do you have a really cool card of Jeremy from his time in the league?
You know what? I actually had someone give me a card. Because I wanted one, right? But I never had one. But I was doing a camp about 3 or 4 years ago. And one of my campers bought me in some cards, and they bought a card of Jeremy. I said, man, thank you so much.
Awesome. I'm gonna get your info, Coach, and I'll send you all the ones that I have of them, and then you can just get them to sign one and send it back to me.
Okay, cool. Yes,
I'll
sir.
run into you and pick it up. That'd be cool.
Absolutely.
Flip, what you got?
So, Coach, I think you probably see my hashtag. It says "Take That, Jim Calhoun." A lot of people don't know Calhoun was the Northeastern coach, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
That makes that even bigger than it already was. But that being said, and you're a coach. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with JD Barnett, and not only about him, but what do you find yourself teaching that he taught you?
Wow, that's a loaded question. When I first got to VCU, I didn't like JD. Didn't like him. I didn't like his style. Matter of fact, I never really adjusted to his style. You got to remember, in high school, my junior year, I averaged 27 points a game. My senior year, I averaged 29 points a game. All of a sudden, I get to VCU, I'm averaging 6 points a game. We having to pass the ball around 30, 40 times and all that stuff. I mean, and then his style of just, he was militaristic. He was like a Bobby Knight. He was just like a Bobby Knight. And so I did not adjust to his style. And over the years, I saw JD a couple of times, right? And I tell him this. I said, Coach, I thank God for you. So what do you mean? I said, Coach, you are the one who drove me to the Lord. You drove me to my knees. So but he really did. He drove me to the Lord, because at that point, I didn't know what I was going to do. But eventually, and that's what Calvin Duncan really helped me at, because he dealt with JD much better than I did. And so he would encourage me along the way, because numbers of times, man, listen, I tried to transfer after my freshman year, my sophomore year, my junior year. It just didn't work out. I mean, I'm like, man, wow. But it was tough playing for him. But I will say this now. What I learned from him was preparation. He was one of the most prepared coaches or people I ever in my life met. And it was just phenomenal. And so I find myself coaching my guys very similar, just in terms of the fundamentals and being prepared, being mentally ready. I mean, all of those principles are right principles, but he just came at you, you SOB, you better this, you better. So now I didn't take that part from him, but but the principles, they are the same though.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I know one of the things that you teach is about mindset. And I know in my life, the mindset is huge, whether it's your business, whether it's your relationship with, whether it's God or your family or whoever, having the right mindset. Can you tell us a little about how you coach mindset?
Absolutely. Listen, man, I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a lot of what I call mindset coaching with athletes and business leaders as well. But mindset coaching, which is the ability to overcome anything that tries to prevent you from reaching your goals or fulfilling your purpose. And so one of the things I teach as relates to mindset coaching is association. who you hang around, because the people that you hang around have a lot of influence on you. I can remember my son Jeremy. He was playing this pickup game. He was about 15 or 16 years old at that time. He was playing this pickup game, and they were playing King of the Court. So, you just shooting it, getting your rebound, shooting it, all that. And he was just dominating these guys. They weren't playing hard. And I said, man, give me the ball. We going. We're going to find somewhere else to play. He said, what you doing, Dad? I said, these guys are not helping you get better, so we're leaving. And we left. And my point is, he could have a false sense of accomplishment by dominating these guys, thinking he's better than what he really is, and he's not. And so putting him in environments where he have to push himself to get better. And I teach him this too. I teach the young people this. Don't play according to the competition, play according to your potential. And that's very important. Sometimes that's hard for the young people to understand, because they have a tendency to play down to the competition. But if you play according to your potential, you always striving for excellence, and you're always striving to get better. And the other thing I teach a lot about is self-talk. What you say to yourself, especially when you miss a shot or something don't go right. What you say to yourself is going to determine how you see yourself as well. So, those just some of the principles we teach as relates to mindset coaching.
No, that's awesome. No, that's awesome. And I agree 100% with playing down to your comment. I see it all the time with my kids and their games. It's like you got to get over that, right? So I appreciate that very much. PG?
Kate, I saw your hand. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say because I was talking to my dad, we were watching my niece play softball today, and just in general, you're coaching, you're aware of the language you're using. I don't mean foul language. I mean, there's a difference between coaching a pitcher, let's just say, and it was because for this example, it was a softball game, but throw strikes versus no walks, right? I'm going to say throw strikes because I want you thinking about throwing strikes versus the pressure of don't walk this batter, right? Yeah. So is that you coach that as well, as far as the mentality of the self-talk, as well as the coach giving that boost to that player as well, right?
Absolutely. Like, for example, when a player shooting a free throw, I don't say if he missed, we got to get a rebound. No, I said when he makes this, when he make this free. So like you said, we're putting it in his mind that he's going to make it. And you want that to become a habit in terms of what they say to themselves, their self-talk, because it actually becomes contagious throughout the team.
So, Coach, you're coaching teenagers, and I imagine kids younger and older. But when it comes to the teenagers, what do you love about that generation and how they're growing up, and what may frustrate you a little bit about that generation? Because it's different than how you grew up, right, or how I grew up.
Oh man, listen, I don't love nothing about it. Listen, man, these guys get me so frustrated. Let me tell you why. I'm from the old school. I'm just old school, right? That's just me. I'm old school. These guys are so entitled, and the whole AAU system for some teams have really messed these guys up. I mean, they come in here, try to do the Euro step, and just go straight up for the layup. I mean, what are you doing? They be dribbling the ball. They have the man beat. Then they want to back up, show that they can take it through the legs. It's so frustrating. And then when you try to tell them about it, well, Coach, why I can't do it my way? Your way. Seriously. I mean, it is frustrating. Now, they are talented young men, no question about it. In some cases, they're more athletic, they're quicker, they're faster. but they don't know how to use that to their advantage sometimes. And they have a tendency of not playing hard. That's the one thing that drives me nuts. Not playing hard. You want to play hard all the time, period. You say you love the game. If you love the game, then you should be playing hard. So it gets me frustrated, but I keep my eyes on a bigger picture. I say, okay, I'm here for a purpose there. We want to help these young men. And so I get a kick out of that.
Yeah, the 18-year-old brain's not the same as a let's just say a 50-plus brain.
Oh, it's different. Yes, sir. It's different.
That's why Coach has still got the whistle on past 9 o'clock tonight. He's coaching hard.
That's right. Absolutely. Always. I wear this whistle. I wear my whistle all the time. It's part of my uniform, but it's more so I go by America's character coach. America's character coach, coaching people to win in life. And so that's something that I've been wearing this whistle for the last 20 years. I go to church with it on. I go in grocery store. I go everywhere. And so people ask me, they say, "You a coach?" I said, "Yeah." They say, "What do you coach?" I said, "I coach people in the game of life." They said, "Really? I need a coach." And it's a great conversational piece.
Coach, you ever blow the whistle at somebody in a grocery store that might be doing something wrong?
No, I never did it in the grocery store. That can you imagine the chaos that would cause? Nah.
You don't sleep with the whistle
These days. You're right.
Hey, you know what? I try not to sleep with it, but I have fallen asleep with it on. So I need to blow the whistle on my own self.
Are you watching the NBA playoffs?
Yeah, you see me keep flashing up there, right? Yeah, it's on right now.
Assuming Dallas wins tonight, who's going to win that series? Dallas, Boston.
Boston. I think Boston. I think Boston got a better backcourt defensively, and I think Tatum and Brown, they tough, man. They're a tough duo. And both of them scoring well, playing well. So I think this is Boston's year. So we'll see.
I think you may be right. Either way, the NBA fan wins, right? Because it should be a great series.
Absolutely.
All right, Coach. This is going to be controversial for the other two, but I'm going to ask who the greatest of all time is in basketball.
The greatest?
The greatest of all time.
Oh, that's easy for me. I've been preaching this for the last years. I know that listen, I'm just giving it to y'all. This guy, he's the most accomplished basketball player ever. Nobody can touch him. Now, I don't just look at the NBA. I look at high school, college, and NBA. I look at the body of work, okay? This young man dominated high school, college, and the NBA. None other than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now, before y'all say something, let me just qualify this. In college now, listen to this. In college, freshmen weren't allowed to play varsity, so he had to play JV. The JV team scrimmaged the varsity, and the JV team beat them by 15 points. That was the same team that won the national championship that year. I'm telling you right now, Kareem would have had 4. He would have had 4 NCAA championships if freshmen could have played. And of course, we know once he started playing, he dominated. His first varsity game at UCLA, he had 56 points. Then they put in this rule, you couldn't dunk. I mean, they tried to slow him up so much. I mean, but they couldn't do it. So Kareem was my guy. Now, who y'all got? I want to hear this.
Go ahead, Flip.
Look, he's right over my shoulder, but I'm not going to argue or debate because what happens in these conversations is you feel like you're putting down another great player. there's no way I can sit here and say that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is not, if not the greatest, one of the greatest. He's on my probably my top 4 ever. They're just so different, right? Jordan and Kareem are just, it's totally a different era, a different style of play, a different type of player. But I'm not hating you for that, Coach. That's I love the fact that you're on Kareem the way you are, because a lot of people don't bring Kareem to the table. They bring LeBron, they bring Kobe. I think Larry Bird should be at the table more than he is. But
I agree with that.
I think Kareem is a great choice.
Good.
Hey, we've talked about it before too with the hook shot.
Oh,
on the podcast, the most unstoppable shot ever. Did you have a good hook, Coach? Did you ever pull the hook shot out?
No, I never pulled a hook shot.
That's what we're trying to figure out, why it was never duplicated.
Exactly. I just going to say, I don't know why more big men don't try to use it and do it and perfect it, because that was the most unstoppable shot ever. Incredible.
But you know what, Coach? I think you might have just hit on it. Maybe it's that hard to perfect, and he's just the only one that's been able to do it. I can't imagine other big guys haven't tried, right? I got to figure this hook shot out. It's so much, it's probably a lot of nuance to it, and Kareem just perfected it.
He perfected it. Yeah.
He would consistently land it from 20, 22 feet out. It was crazy.
Incredible.
Crazy.
Incredible.
All right, Coach, you and I talked briefly earlier today. Mount Rushmore for tonight are the top 4 VCU basketball players of all time, and you cannot name yourself. You're a pretty humble guy. I don't think you're going to name yourself anyway, but your top 4.
Well, I'm glad you called me earlier. Appreciate that. Thank you. And VCU have had some really great players come through. I mean, really, some great players. But here's my Mount Rushmore. First person I'm going to go with, Gerald Henderson. Gerald Henderson, he really started this stuff off. I mean, this guy, he worked so hard. I mean, just incredible guy. I remember when he was with the Boston Celtics, he would come back to Richmond. We would work out, me, Calvin, Ed Sherrod, and Gerald Henderson. We would do 2-on-2 full court. I mean, but these guys worked so hard. And Gerald was one of the ones who really set a standard at VCU for all of us coming behind him. And so I got him in there, got him on there. Next person would be Kendrick Warren. Kendrick Warren. Hey, he was a highlight film. I mean, this guy was so exciting to watch. And he was the face. He was the face of VCU. He did what he needed to do here at VCU. Very exciting. He was the man. Kendrick was the man. He was the man. My next person would be none other than Eric Maynard. Can't leave him off. Eric Maynard. I mean, he broke all kind of records. He hit that dagger against Duke. I mean, the brother was he was nice. Yeah. He was nice, and he handled himself very well, very well. My next person, say the best for last. This guy, man, he did it both on and off the court. The best ever at VCU, Calvin Duncan. Calvin Duncan.
Yes,
I guess you could say I'm kind of biased, but his record speaks for itself. He put up great numbers. He led VCU to 3 straight NCAA tournaments. And they call him in college the ambassador, because I hated walking across campus with him. A 5-minute walk across campus always turned into an hour, because he gonna speak to everybody. Everybody gonna speak to him. I'm like, man, I'm not walking with you no more. But that's my Mount Rushmore. Now I want to hear you guys. I want to hear y'all.
Hey.
I want to hear what y'all got.
So,
All
Coach,
right, go ahead. I didn't prepare these two for this question.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, good.
But they can handle it. They'll be all right.
yeah, before we go any further, your Calvin Duncan choice may be biased, but I think, I dare say all four of us, or the other three of us, would pick him as well, and I would. That's my first. I don't know how you pick Kendrick Warren when he's the second best player on that team behind sweet Chuck Rodney Ashby, friend of the podcast. But I can't. No, I'm not putting Rodney on the list. I love Rodney. No, Ed Sherrod would have been on my list. I love Gerald Henderson, and
so you would put Ed. You would put Ed over Gerald.
No. Gerald's on my list with him.
Okay,
and Gerald.
Gotcha. Yeah, Ed
Calvin Duncan. Yeah, and it's almost like I have to pick somebody from the Final Four team. But the thing about that team was there was no star player on that team, so it's hard for me to say, one or the other, or Brad Burgess or whoever, Joey Rodriguez. There's so many. So I'm gonna go back in the day and say Mike Schlegel.
Mike Schlegel, really?
He's just talking trash now, Coach. Go ahead, K-Dub.
I was just going to add one that was my favorite player. I got to know him when I was going to school there, and he'd hoop with me. Super nice guy, Patrick Lee.
Who?
Patrick Lee.
Patrick Lee. Hold on. Who is that?
He's a guard. I think he was Player of the Year one year.
Really? What year?
He was after Kendrick and in between those guys. So I was there, that's late 90s.
Okay.
Late 90s. He had this nasty crossover that I see the guys do it now, but he would fake it and with one hand and go back. It's the nastiest crosser I've ever seen. He'd do it in the come and play pickup with us, and he would just have guys falling on the falling on the floor.
Coach, mine's real simple. It matches yours 3 out of 4. I'm a little too young to remember Gerald being there. So I'm going to take Gerald off the list, and I'm going to put you on the list.
Oh man.
Y'all were
those are gifts.
Awesome. You and Calvin were awesome.
I appreciate
one of the best backcourts in the mid-'80s in the country. One of the best backcourts in the country. And by the way, Coach, that's a big thing because you had Sidney Lowe and Derek Wittenberg. You had whoever was playing with Jordan at Carolina. Who was playing at Richmond at the time? Was it Beckwith or was it Kenny Atkinson?
It was Beckwith, and I know y'all heard about Beckwith, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's so sad, man. That's so sad. He was one of the good guys, man, and great young man. We had our battles, no question about it. We had our battles, but he was a great guy, man. So I was sorry to hear that news. Really was.
Yeah. Too young.
Did you ever have an interaction with Bill Walton?
No, never had interaction with him. Nope. But Bill was one of the best centers ever. I'm just saying he don't get hurt. Them injuries really derailed his how long he played. But man, this guy, he was incredible.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Last two things. One is, did you explain to Calvin that you're not from the country?
Some of them guys you can't. Nah, he wouldn't believe it. So no, I did not. I mean, talking to Calvin about stuff like that, he get deaf tone. He not trying to hear it. He not trying.
Right on. All right. So how do people find out about all the things you're involved in? Whether it's
go to our website. Go to our website, chosenOneacademy.com. That's one way. You can also go to my other website, Coach Rolando Lamb.com, and all the information that you want on those websites. So that's the best way. And I'm always on social media, putting out content, motivational, 1-minute videos, and just positivity, man, encouraging people. There's so much stuff. You know, when I look at social media, it's so much trash up there. I'm like, if they can put this trash up here, I can put something positive out on social media. So, but yeah.
When's your golf tournament?
Golf tournament, August 16th. We're excited about it. It's going to be our first one. Chasden Landing. That's where it's going to be. And so
nice.
It's going to be on a Friday. So we're looking to get those guys in there. You know, some guys who want to help out with sponsorship. Hey, hit me up. Put me in contact with them. But we're looking to help raise money for our school, guys who may need scholarships. You know, hey, we meet a guy who can play. He about 6'10". Listen, we gotta find the money for him, right? We gotta get
gotta get him.
So we're excited about it.
Well, awesome, Coach. Thanks for doing this. Did you have fun?
I loved it. I love chopping it up with you guys. Appreciate all the questions, man. Great questions.
Hey, America's character coach, y'all.
Yes. Hey, don't make me blow the rest on you guys now.
Yes,
sir.
Appreciate
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, have a good night.
All right, you too.
Y'all like that, didn't you?
Yeah,
that was great. That was a great guest, man.
Yeah, we got to go check that school out.
Yeah, he's Rolando's an amazing guy. He really is.
It is. He is, man. So we're wrapping it up this week. Anything else y'all want to throw out there? KW on the stage anytime soon?
Yeah, I'm up at Northern Virginia this Friday, but I'll be in Richmond at another Round Bar in the West End, I guess, Lakeside-ish, somewhere on Sunday, June 2nd. Yeah. That's it. But hey, don't you have some big stuff? Didn't you win a championship or something this weekend?
I personally did not. Yes, but thank you for bringing up. My son did. Briggs' team went to the shipyard down in Charleston. And first time I've been to Charleston. I feel like I've been everywhere up and down the East Coast. I've never been to Charleston. So pretty cool city. The place they played was on the water. It was amazing. The food was amazing. And they won the tournament. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. So RBA 360 came through. And, hey, we're back at it again this weekend at Lee Little League. So you guys
is amazing a better adjective than fantastic?
In this situation, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Nice. Hey, I've had the former or the retired CEO of the Special Olympics of Virginia on the Stories podcast. I'm also getting the current CEO of Special Olympics of Virginia on, and I had a guy, Army guy, who had deployed to Syria, and his is releasing on Monday, and his is wow, what a story he had to tell. Crazy. You don't meet somebody every day that deployed to Syria.
Oh, that's insane.
No,
I'm
you're
definitely
right.
checking that out. It's coming out Monday?
Yeah, he's coming out Monday.
Stories
from the center of the universe. Thank you, Katie. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to jump in.
Thanks for the clarification.
All right. Hashtag take that, Jim Calhoun. Y'all have a nice evening, and until next week.
Later, fellas.